Ian Trottier for Discussions of Truth with someone named Melissa. We are in San Antonio for the We Awaken tour. Clay Clark, by far. Look, ladies and gentlemen, he has the best freedom fighting movement going on right now in the world.
Kicking booty, taking names, right?
And taking names. Melissa, who are you?
I am Melissa, Red Pill the World. I told you that, yeah. So my name is not Melissa Red Pill the World, but that's what I go by, because we were just having this conversation that there's a lot of people out there who are a little crazy and want to try to, destroy your family over this, because you're trying to...
Over what? Over red pilling?
Yeah, over red pilling. That's why I changed my name to Red Pill the World, because that's what I do. I'll just have a conversation. I'm just talking, and all of a sudden I'll blurt out something. I'm like, oh, sorry. I didn't know you didn't know that.
Melissa, you are an author, and you've got in your right hand a book that you've written. You're selling multiple copies of this on a daily basis. What is this?
Okay, so my role in this, because I don't have any big name or creds or whatever, but I've been teaching God's Word for 40 years, okay, and just to kids, and trying to help the kids, and so. Whatever. I all of a sudden, when I began to find out what was going on, I'm like, this is biblical, and I think this is revelation. And then when I found out specifically...
Going on in regards to what?
Pardon?
Going on in regards to what? Going on. When you said that found what was going on, what's going on?
When I found out the WikiLeaks, October 2016, that basically these people who do these horrible things to kids are running the world.
Pedophilia? What are you speaking of?
Yes. Hurting kids, yes.
And you found this through WikiLeaks?
Yes. Satanic sacrifices. Rituals, and which I had thought
spirit cooking,
all that. Yeah, it's horrible.
Okay, so
we find this out, and we're like, I'm sure that when you found it out, you're like, okay, no way, we're not putting up with this, and we're going to fight like crazy every day until these people are gone.
So wait a second. You're online. You're in a search engine. You're going through WikiLeaks.
Yep, I read it myself. They said, no, don't read them. We'll tell you what they mean. Don't even worry about it. We'll tell you what they mean. No, I'll read it myself. Thank you. And
what are you talking? Read what?
WikiLeaks.org. I went on to now. I think the site's been changed now. It's not online now. But back in the day, you could go on and you could actually read the emails from Podesta and Hillary Clinton and all these people, and how they run the world based upon pedophilia and blackmailing and bribery and all that. And I said, stop everything. I'm stopping my world, and I'm going to fight these people. And
okay,
they're gone.
So what did you see? What did you read exactly?
Well, about the hot dogs. You know about this.
I don't know if I know. No, I don't know.
No, you're serious. You're looking at me like you don't. You know about this. Come on.
About what? What's this?
About the hot dogs that they were taking to the White House.
I've not heard this, Melissa.
And the map. No, you have.
I've not heard this. I've not heard this. I've heard Pizzagate. I've heard some elements of this. Podesta, I'm familiar with that name, but I've not heard about what you're talking about.
Right. And so, and I'm not a big researcher on this. I found out enough to know that I was not going to put up with this. And I found out that
So Obama administration, hot dogs are being delivered to the White House, you're saying?
And it's code. All this pedophilia code. And then all of a sudden I started learning the pedophilia code, and I'm like, I'm seeing it everywhere now. All this pedophilia code, and I'm like, I'm not, then and all these, their symbolism for and how they do the adrenochrome, and they take the blood and they adrenalize the blood and they do the murders of children. I don't know how we got into this subject, because this is not my expertise.
Well, we got in that subject because we were talking about your book.
Okay, but I'm just telling you, I found out these people are evil, and I'm not, going to put up with it. I couldn't just be like, oh, okay, what am I? I'm going to go have, crumpets. I'm not going to do that. And so I'm like, something stirred in me, like it stirred into all these people pretty much who are here at the Clay Clark Convention, and probably the people who are listening to your channel, that I'm not gonna live in a place where they're doing this. Now that I know, this was being done under our noses, and then I found out that the Bushes and the Clintons were besties.
What do you mean?
They're best friends.
But they're Democrat Republicans opposing.
Exactly, and they sell drugs out of Mena, deliver drugs into Mena, Arkansas, and all this.
Still today?
I don't know if it's happening today. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. All I know is they're besties, and they,
because that's a Clinton. That's one of the Clintons' issues, right?
Yeah.
Allowing
right.
the cocaine transfer. Yeah.
The cocaine, and then really that's what's behind
Gary Webb.
I just did a video on Afghanistan. That the whole point about Afghanistan was so they could have cocaine, poppy fields.
Opium.
And Bush Senior's name is Poppy.
Right.
And so
and their boat, the Barbara. You heard about that?
The who?
The Barbara.
Oh yeah.
The Barbara.
The Barbara.
The oil rig that they own off the coast of Cuba.
No, I don't know about that. That's a new one on me.
Okay. So anyway, let's.
I don't know anything about that. I have no idea what you're talking about. All I know is like in Afghanistan, they've been having the poppy fields, and that was our guys, unbeknownst to them, were protecting the poppy fields, and that's how they've been bringing this crap over here and killing us.
So there's a great researcher, Melissa. There's a great guy that got his PhD from Yale. He did his thesis, PhD thesis on this opium issue. I think this was in the early '80s. Al McCoy.
The Opium Wars, yeah. Probably he was looking back at China and how they were trying to destroy societies then. And we didn't even realize.
But the CIA knocks on his door and demands the manuscripts. He refused. He sued the CIA, and he won. Al McCoy, he teaches. He's a former guest on the show. He teaches in Madison, Wisconsin.
Cool.
But let's get into what you're talking about, because you're going even further back into the opium trades with China. You're going further back than
right. And what I know about that, you can put in a thimble and have room left over. But I just know that they've been doing this to kill our people.
That's Texas talk.
Right? I don't know where I got that, but yeah. So
you just made that up?
No.
You've heard it before.
I've said this before.
Okay. You said it before. Have you heard it before? I've never heard that. That's great.
Really?
It's a great catchphrase. You can trademark it.
Yeah. I'm originally from Tennessee. The best phrases on the whole world come from Tennessee.
Come from Tennessee?
Yeah.
Nashville?
Yeah. Well, I'm originally from Nashville, and actually, anyways, I'm probably telling too much information. But the point is,
Tootsies.
The information. The real truth is, when I found out that these people were running a crime syndicate, a mafia worldwide.
Who's these people?
As far as the Bushes and the Clintons and all these, right? And the Podestas and all these people.
So this is an American crime syndicate?
Mm-hmm.
It's an American crime syndicate.
Right.
But with international connections?
Right. Worldwide, yeah. So then at that point, I began to realize this was biblical. This was actually revelation. I hear so many people say, oh, this is revelation. What do you mean by that? Because most people, as soon as they hear the word revelation, they go hide under the bed. Or they pack their bags. They're like, okay, we're going to leave here on a rapture. Because they told us, the Soros-controlled seminaries told us that...
Soros-controlled seminaries?
He funded a lot of the seminaries.
Okay, I haven't heard this. What seminaries where and what?
All throughout the country.
Christian seminaries?
Mm-hmm, yeah. And then they infiltrated. There's a Bible verse that even says that they've infiltrated, these enemies have infiltrated the church unawares.
What church?
All throughout every
Christian church, Islam,
yeah.
Islam.
That's why my name is Melissa.
Any belief in God? What?
And what they don't. Okay, what I thought they were going to do is they were going to be like, Jesus isn't good, and he didn't die for sin, and you don't get forgiven. That's the kind of thing we thought. Oh, if somebody says that, then we'll know they're bad. They're the Antichrist, whatever. No, what they do is if you come up in the church and you were starting to speak some truth, you will get attacked.
In America.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, the church is so bad.
But hold on. Okay, let me step back. Melissa, let me step back. Let me step back and say, okay, hold on. 1776, the cornerstone of the Constitution is freedom of religion.
Mm-hmm. And you can go and have your religion all day long. The problem is when you've got people that you think are your friends and they're really working for a secret society, and if you start to wake up, listen, you start to say, hey, I figured this out. Oh, I found this out. And they realize that you're getting on to them, you will get lambasted. And I'll tell you this is funny. We're in this movement, the deep
What movement?
This Clay Clark movement,
okay, yeah.
where we're exposing all
the Reawaken movement.
Okay. Guess what's being attacked first? What we're trying to disassemble, what we're trying to bring down is the deep state. We didn't even touch the deep church because the deep church is worse. It's worse.
Okay, so
seriously. So I mean, you think of the Catholic Church, think, oh, well, all the hurting children for all these years, right? And so you think, oh, well, who would ever do that? Because you put your guard down. Just like if you go to a doctor, you put your guard down. He's got the cool white lab coat. I must trust him because he's got the credentials and all of that. And that's why I'm so glad that I don't have any credentials. I did not go to these seminaries. I've been teaching kids for 40 years. And so when I began to realize, and so I wrote this book like I'm teaching kids. I'm just trying to make it real simple, for everybody to understand. And
the title of the book, by the way, is End Times and 1,000 Years of Peace.
Just the end times for them. It's very good news for us. 1,000 years of peace for us. And now, how now you see, I was talking about the symbolism for the pedophilia. You're like, I see it everywhere now. I see the 666 symbolism everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I miss this all this time? We were just like, there was a veil over our eyes. And so now now that I see all this about that we're going to enter into 1,000 years of peace. Literally, it's all throughout the Bible. It's all throughout, and I had never noticed it before, because you know what? They seed our thoughts, and all of a sudden, all your thoughts is, I'm packed my bags, and we're going to escape Earth. And the world's going to be a fireball, and everybody's going to be destroyed. Armageddon is going to be destroyed. That was a big, fat lie. That's my whole point that I do on freedomforce.live. My website is freedomforce.live. I have 600 videos on there where I go in and I explain how this is biblical. And I break it down like a kid, and current events, and tying these two together. And I don't think anyone else is doing this. I really think I'm the only one who has this view on Revelation. But the truth is, I'm right. I know that really sounds like, who does this chick think she is? She thinks she's a know-it-all. And I honest to God, hate to say that, but the things that you know, right? The things that you've researched, you're like, wild horses could not make you not believe that that's true, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing for me. And so what I know now, I was going to tell you, this is one of the most important things to know, because people are like, okay, let's just say this lady's right. Let's just say that everybody else is wrong and she's right. And I mean, it makes sense. They've been lying to us about everything, right? Okay, so now you've got the
who's they? The deep state or deep church?
And the deep church, both.
Both. They're both intertwined. Both
Yes.
the same thing.
Well, no, that's not the same thing. They it's two pillars that run the world, like the Masonic pillars, is the church and the state. That's how they are supposed to bring peace on the earth, but they don't. They've infiltrated and
They create chaos.
Right. Making us sick and stealing from us and all the rest of it, enslaving humanity, right?
And that's their order.
Yeah.
Right? The enslavement is their order.
Right. So when I began to realize that this group is the beast of Revelation. It's also called the Antichrist.
The deep.
This group,
The deep organism.
All of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are the beast of Revelation, and it's. Think of it as in Daniel, it talks about this monster that has these iron claws, and that's what it is in every town. And that's not just DC, you guys. It's all throughout your town, my town. That's how the churches, the every institution, every corporation. So that if anyone stands up and says, "I'm not going to take this vax," then they get the iron claws on them, and they get pulled out. Oh, well, you're going to be fired or whatever. And so this is how they have run everything. But now the difference is we're awake. They never expected us to wake up. And there's actually in the heavens, remember how the Bethlehem star, every Christmas we celebrate the Bethlehem star. Somehow the wise men knew that this was the day to get on their camels and go. And sure as the world, Jesus was born.
Because the star.
Yeah, they saw that, right. And so I've got on my freedomforce.live, I can show you what the Bethlehem star was. Amazing. I'm not going to go into it right now, but you can go on stellarium.org. You can download this planetarium. The Bible even says the heavens are declaring the glory of God. The firmament is displaying his handiwork day after day after day. But the problem is we don't know how to read it. They have hidden this information from us. Okay? And so the wise men knew. But guess what? There's a sign in our day. It happened September 23rd, 2017. It's so cool. And I didn't
What
know,
happened then?
I didn't know it. I'm going to show you, but your people won't see it. But you can see it on the book, or you can see it on freedomforce.live. That's it right there. It is from Revelation chapter 12.
So once every 7,000 years this happens, you're saying?
No, this has never been before in 7,000 years or ever into the future. This exact sign.
Okay.
This exact sign is shown is delineated in Revelation chapter 12. It's this a woman. Now there are only three.
Take a picture of it and put it up on the. I'll put it for the listeners.
Yeah. There's only 3 women in the constellations. There's Orion and there's Taurus the bull and the Lion of the tribe of Judah and all that. But this is the woman, which is there's 3. There's Andromeda, which is the woman chained. Remember in the Clash of the Titans, the sea monster's about to get her, and Perseus comes with the Medusa and holds up the head and saves her at the last second. That's where we are in humanity. Seriously, that's Bible story. That they changed it into a Hollywood movie. But anyway, so there's another woman who's actually seated in the heavens on a throne. But there's Virgo, which we all know about, of the 12 major constellations, and she is the one. She's called the Virgin. Yeah. And it's not really virgin like you would think.
The Virgin Mary.
Yeah. But it's people who it's people who want justice on the earth. People who want children protected. People who want freedom. People who want there just to be fairness. People who want justice so that the bad guys can't keep doing all this crap, right? That's what Virgo represents. And it's not even about whether they have, they understand the Bible, or maybe they might even be Hindu. They might be Muslim. Who knows, right? But are they fight like this group here? I mean, just people from all over. And I haven't asked them what their credentials are. Do you believe this or that or the other? But we're all in lockstep are fighting to save the kids.
Lockstep.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Isn't that a bit of a buzzword?
Is it? Lockstep? I don't know.
Well, sure, the Rockefeller Lockstep program.
Oh, that's a new one on me. Yeah, okay, so you got.
Oh, you didn't know this?
You're gonna red pill me on that. I don't know what that is.
Oh.
Maybe I do. Maybe I do if you tell me about it. But yeah. I know a lot about the Rockefellers, Jekyll Island, maybe something like that, where they.
Well, this is the Rockefeller Lockstep program. I believe written in 2011, 13, something like that.
Okay.
And it basically calls for a 100-year plan according to this foundation that exists because of J.D. Rockefeller and his sons of global health care.
Oh, it's specifically health care. Ugh. You got to keep taking the jab and another jab and another jab.
Yes, like software updates.
Ooh, yeah.
Micro software updates.
Okay,
Microsoftware updates.
See,
Microsoft.
we have the same last name.
Or updates.
You're
What's that?
Ian Red Pill the World. Yes, we're brother and sister. Yeah, cool. I didn't know about that. But just that we.
So when you said lockstep.
Okay, yeah. But the point is that we're all together fighting. Maybe you're doing one thing, I'm doing another thing. Everybody here's doing their own, using their talents, their gifts to take down this cabal, right? That's the whole point, and that's what it's really talking about. Is that this is what Virgo is about? It's not horoscope.
And that was revealed the 23rd of September 2015.
Right. And so this is. I'm going to quote the verse exactly.
Astrologically.
Yes, this verse, which is almost impossible to read here. It's so tiny. It says there was a woman clothed with the sun. You see the sun on her shoulders, right there?
Yeah.
The moon is under her feet. They'll see this online, and she has 12 stars on her head. So there's normally 9. Leo is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. That represents Christ as the king of this world, okay? As the king of the jungle. And so but 3 more came into alignment. Remember, I don't know, you're probably too young to maybe remember, but the song that says...
I'm a grandfather.
Oh, you're lying to me. That's just
I'm not. He's lying. This is not true. It is disinformation.
Grandpappy. All right, so but it says, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Okay, and it talks about when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars and all that. Then peace will guide the planets. This is what it's talking about, this sign right here. It was talking about this sign right here. This is actually in the Rosary for those who are Catholic. That this is the coronation verse, and maybe to talk about Mary being crowned. But the point is, we're all going to rule and reign on this earth, and the bad guys will be out. That's the whole premise of the book. End Times and 1,000 Years of Peace for $2.99 on Amazon. But anyway, so this sign happened September 23rd, 2017, and then if you look right in here in this little what I'm calling a womb area, is there Jupiter, which is the Melchizedek, which is the Christ star. Okay, just like the Bethlehem star. It did a loop. Honest to goodness. Did you know about the stars do loops?
No.
They do. Go on stellarium.org and don't believe me. Just download it for yourself and you'll see, and you can follow the trails. And anyway, but I do this on my biblical astronomy playlist. You can see it. But this is all happening above our heads, and we're not watching. If the agrarian societies could not be duped because they knew. They knew the stars. They knew and so they couldn't tell them all these lies. But we are just so smart, right, in our day. But anyway, so here is it did a 42-week, which is a gestation period. And then it made this exact sign. The amazing thing is right after that, a month after that, was when a lot of people started to wake up.
Interesting.
If you remember, October 2017, right in there, all of a sudden people we started getting a lot of intel. All of a sudden people started sharing information all over the world. Now, I could, as best as I talk, and as much as you and I are just so much alike like that, we talk, we could not talk people into doing this. This is something else that's happening. And there's a verse. If you see 11:11, do you ever see 11:11? A lot of my people see 11:11 all the time.
11:11.
11:11. Like so many things are actually. I did a video on the War Code Manual. 11:11 is when arrests happen. It triggers arrests. The War Code Manual is like 1,200 pages.
Written by Pentagon?
It's our war code. Yeah, and chapter 11, section 11 is about what triggers arrests. which is kind of cool.
You've read this.
Oh, yeah. I did a video on it specifically. I haven't read the whole thing, but I was focusing on what really happened. I did a whole research series on what happened when they put the fencing around the Capitol.
Okay.
And it was not because I was a terrorist.
Okay.
It was because these other people were the terrorists, right?
So you asked me a question, and that was, are you...
Yes.
What did you ask?
Are you a Q?
Right, and what I responded to that.
What did you say? Something stupid. Something to make
I said I do not have a clearance.
Right. That's right. So that means that you do know.
No. But I've heard some of these things.
Yeah.
So, but I don't identify with.
Yeah.
That letter in the alphabet. I just don't.
Okay.
But,
okay. Now we know the answer to that question.
You're talking about the fencing around the Capitol, and I cut you off. I apologize. But continue with that because here what you're doing is you're inserting the war manual written by the Pentagon in Chapter 11 to what we just lived last year.
Yes.
With these, what do they call it? A riot or the insurrection?
Insurrection.
Is it an insurrection? I don't know.
According to Schiff, it's an.
According to who?
Shifty Shift is an erection, but for the rest of us, it's
Melissa.
This
is a family show.
And you're the
Nana,
the church lady, right? I'm just saying. I'm just quoting Shifty Shift.
Okay, I was surprised you're a grandmother. Yeah, I was surprised you're a grandmother.
Anyway, biology. Okay, so, but 11:11 in the Bible, then you've got Veterans Day is 11:11. The War Code Manual 11:11 is triggering arrests. This is like so biblical, it's not even funny. Okay, so connecting all of that.
So does gematria? Is this something that aligns with that?
No. It's not really about
Okay.
gematria. I'm not really big on gematria. I'm not. Just because I played a trick on my people on Freedom Force Battalion is my Telegram. I have like 100,000 people on my Telegram. Freedom Force Battalion. And so I was like, I made up a number, and I said, okay, you can make anything up that adds up to 54. I think it was 54. I said, I can make up anything. Okay, my dog is cute. My dog is stupid. Like you could gematria. In my opinion, gematria can be used to trick a lot of people. To dupe a lot of people. But anyway, the point of this is I just think that it's so cool. 11:11, I believe, is the awakening. It's just something big on the awakening. A lot of us see that. And it's kind of just a little reminder, hey, keep in the fight. Keep in there fighting. Keep in there exposing. So 11:11 in the Bible, in Revelation 11, it's my favorite verse in the whole world now because it says that God breathed life into them and they stood up. And great fear fell on all who were watching. What does that sound like to you? Sounds like a great awakening. It sounds like somebody tapped you on the shoulder. And it doesn't really matter whether you're a Christian or a Buddhist or a Muslim. You're like, okay, because a lot of the people in the church are so asleep. You can't wake them up.
What church are you talking about?
I'm talking about anybody. Catholic,
a Christian Hindu,
anything. There's so
any belief in God?
Because there have been so... No. I think that there are a lot of people who believe in God who have not been... Because there's a second layer of brainwashing in the religious institutions. You already get a certain layer in the schools. You get a certain level from the mainstream media. This is the gates, okay? And it talks about this in the gates, that all these gates are going to open. And these gates are opening, so now you're not fooled like you were before by the mainstream media. You're not fooled by the education. You're not fooled by the church or whatever. So it's just another gate that they use to keep us in that matrix locked down, okay? So, because it talks about on the board, that 17th letter of the alphabet, it talks about this is biblical 9 times. You're like, what do you mean it's biblical? And I'm telling you what it's biblical is that this is Armageddon. We've awakened.
We're in it, you're saying?
Yeah. I did another red pill, didn't I? Yeah. That's why I'm called red pill. Because, don't be so afraid of it, though. It's the day when we're cast. The sign I showed you is the alarm clock that said, ding, 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 it's time to start fighting Armageddon. We're going to cast them out. Everybody knows something's going on. I'm the one who's telling, this is what it is, And so, because I've been researching this for 4 years and never intended to write a book, but I'm like, I've got to put all this stuff in one concise place because you can't watch 600 videos, right? But so it's that we are awakening. Somehow or another, you woke up. Like what woke you up?
The Zika virus in Miami Beach. When I discovered, and
it was an organized,
and it was a gay Jew. My best friend, he's gay, Jewish. He's now committed suicide, but he invited me to the town hall meeting. He's the one that says, "Hey, you got it. come down to the town hall meeting, listen to the argument between the pesticide being sprayed in Miami Beach, it's 2016, and the Zika virus, and I connected the Rockefeller involvement into this, and a woman out of Key West had collected 3,000 signatures to present to the EPA because she was opposed to the GMO mosquito factory, Oxitec, which was a British company. I think Bill Gates has invested in it, a British company, on public land that Rick Scott confirmed and allowed them to force their employees to sign non-disclosure agreements. Yet they're operating on state land. A British firm, Oxitec, GMO mosquitoes. She goes to D.C. to present the 3,000 signatures to the EPA. A single mother, a Spanish woman, single mother, the real estate industry, and she's found dead.
No.
The morning so she's supposed to meet with the EPA, she's found dead in her swimming pool. This is a woman that I had chatted with online.
Oh my God.
I'd never met her in person, but I'd met her online.
This stuff is real. The war is real.
She was found dead in her swimming pool. She was found dead. I credit this eye-opening
right.
of what this reality is.
That was a red pill right there. That was a big wake-up call for you, I'm sure. That's just
to my friend David and Melissa. I was in the town hall meeting in Miami Beach, and these women, these high school, these fathers, they're irate. They're screaming. I can remember visually the woman here to the left in front of David. And she's got her dog in hand, and she's just pumping her fist and just ready to tear somebody's head off. This is 2016 over the pesticide being sprayed on the Zika virus. So then I was led to a guy at Stanford named Anthony Sutton that was exposing the banking corruption in the 70s, and he walked away from the Hoover Institute at Stanford. That's a pretty cush job.
But
he says, I'm convicted. This is my research. You're not going to censor me. You're not going to censor me.
Yeah.
And from there, Melissa, that's where it started. And so on my website, I've got a collection of all the literature I've collected over the past 5 years.
I'm so glad
that
to know.
shows
That's awesome. Yeah.
that this is not a theory. This is a conspiracy.
Yep.
This is a conspiracy to overthrow the United States.
A criminal conspiracy. It's a group that worked together to commit this horrible crime. And Fauci is involved.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
And now he's just taking it up several notches. Worldwide. Yep.
So tell listeners.
But that's what I'm talking. As far as the 11/11, see, something happened in your life to wake you up. In the Bible, it talks about the angels, and everybody's all afraid of the angels. Oh my God!
And this is burned like a fire ever since that moment.
And me too.
I was invited to do this. Somebody says you need to come into our online radio station in Miami. I was giving a lift.
And now you
from there I started getting people like John Kiriakou, who's blowing the whistle on the Bush administration for waterboarding in Guantanamo. He faced 40 years in prison for blowing the whistle, doing something that's right, speaking the truth, a violation of international conduct.
Right.
40 years in prison he's facing. He got his sentence reduced.
I know.
Al McCoy, 27 years in the CIA, hand-delivered briefings in the Oval Office to Bush in the early 90s. This is high-level, trusted CIA. Being arrested for speaking out against the CIA.
Yeah.
I says, I'm plowing full forward here.
Right.
I'm just a voice. I'm just a voice.
Right.
And I'm going to make that heard.
Exactly. And wild horses could not stop you. And you are Virgo. It's just like what it's talking about there, that we are, it says they tell no lies. What that means is we're truth tellers. We're going to get the truth out. We're getting it out. And we're going to get it out day after day after day after day. And that's why I love my Freedom Force Battalion, because I put something out there and they blast it. So I'll share it. Send me your stuff and I'll have them blast it out. People, they're hungry. And this is the thing that's happening right now, is that people are hungry for the truth. In the past, not everybody, but there are a lot of people. And what's so cool, I got to tell you this real cool thing that in the Bible it talks about the 144,000. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Be the first cool thing you've mentioned in my time with you.
Right, exactly. Finally, I found something
cool, Melissa.
He's going to be excited about. So 144,000 it talks about that are riding alongside the Lord as he has fire in his eyes and a sword in his mouth, and he's got blood on his garments. It's not his own blood; it's the blood of his enemies. Have you ever heard of anything like that in church or on a street a TV preacher? No, and all throughout the Old Testament, it's like he's going to destroy them, and you're like, why is God so angry? Because not us. He's not angry with us. we're working alongside him. He's angry with these people who've done such evil. They've literally taken in demons. The Bible even talks about, in 1 John chapter 5, says, these people have done a sin unto death. They've taken in death. They've taken in demons. Remember how the enemy told Jesus, this is, if you want, you bow down and worship me, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world. He said, no way. But they said, yeah. And so the Lord, we're going to destroy them, and they will be gone from the earth. They will never come out again. This is what the Bible says. You will never hear this in church because the church is infiltrated and controlled by Soros.
So what are churchgoers hearing in contrast?
They're hearing
to what your book is
We're
saying.
going to leave. We're going to rapture out of here. Then the beast will be revealed. That's what they're hearing.
So they're hearing that the truth teller.
They believe that. What do you mean the truth teller?
The truth teller will not be victorious?
Well, they don't really hear that from the pulpit. The thing they hear from the when the person's standing up there talking is that Jesus is going to come back and get us and save us and rescue us out of here, and we're out, we're gone, we're gone, and we're fly away.
So that there will be
Then they are out of here. They don't have to worry about fighting the beast. The beast is going to take over the world. They'll be gone. You didn't know that? Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Oh, well, that's this the Left Behind. And Hollywood says the same thing. And I'll just tell you, you're not going to hear the truth from the Bible from Hollywood. And unfortunately, you're not going to hear it from a lot of these preachers because they're controlled. And if they start to say something that's true, out of there. Seriously, the church is infiltrated worse than the state. Yeah. Yeah. And this is why the people who are in the church are under another veil.
Listeners, when they're listening, you say the church. Again,
think of religious. I should just say religious institutions. They're just another level of control to control the sheep.
Name one in particular.
A preacher. It's not
an institution.
Like the Christian church, the Muslim church, the Muslim mosques or whatever. Yeah. So it's a control mechanism. Now, don't hear me wrong. Please don't hear me wrong, you guys. The Word of God is true. It's true. I just showed you a sign in the heavens that was put in there 2,000 years ago, and we saw it just, September 23rd, 2017. The Word of God is true, but these guys have hijacked everything. They hijacked Hinduism, they hijacked Judaism, they hijacked everything. Just like they've hijacked the corporations and the judges and everything, the mainstream media and all that. So that you can't get. It's how do you find truth? Well, that's what we're here for. Right? Okay, so let me give you the timeline of what's happening. From what I can tell, and I think I said it first that I don't have what you would normally think of as creds, and I think that's great because nobody can tell me what to say or do. Clearly, you can say I'm pretty unfiltered. I just want the truth out. Just like when you're telling stuff that like you saw someone who's killed, and you're like, I'm still going to tell the truth. And that's what's different because something happened to you, something happened to all of us here. We're going to fight until these people are gone. We're not going to stop. And once of us is going to die.
Someone's going to pass.
Someone's going to die. All right, so here's the story that we've had the tribulation. People are like, we haven't had tribulation. I'm like, come on. What else? Literally, our race is not going to be able to continue because our hormones have been so affected. We can't even continue the human race. Is really where we are So, and if you ever have heard about what happens in these tunnels or happened, hopefully it's largely been stopped. But that what's happening with this trafficking of children, and the Baal worship, satanic sacrifices. You don't tell me that there's no tribulation. Don't tell me when you look at what's happening in Australia and Venezuela and China that there's no tribulation. Don't. It's like, you're ridiculous, right? So we've had this tribulation on top of tribulation. Is it nuclear bombs going everywhere like they kind of seeded our thoughts in? No. That would be, they want all this stuff kept for themselves. They just want to destroy humanity to like 500 million people, right? By the Georgia Guidestones. All right. So we've had this tribulation.
What?
I know. If I get up on that subject, that's going to be another hour. The Georgia Guidestones basically has their plan, kind of like what you were talking about with Lockstep, but their plan for reducing the population of humanity from 9 billion to half a million. The cabal, the Rockefellers, the banksters, this whole group that controls everything. Yeah. So and
who is that group?
Well, you start naming names. This what I would call at the top is the bloodline families, the Rothschilds, the Bundys, the just this whole group that have.
You used the term mafia earlier.
Many of the
not on the show,
and a lot of them are nameless that we don't even know who they are. Because they don't. The people who are in the positions of authority in our governments are just puppets, right? But I just want to tell you that the timeline. Okay, it's very important that you know the timeline, because I know your people know a lot about the Georgia Guidestones, and they don't need to learn that from me, because that's not my expertise. My expertise is the Bible and how it relates to end times and what's happening now.
Yeah.
So we saw that sign, that clock in the heavens. That was the alarm clock that told us this was happening. We know that we've had this horrible tribulation.
Did you see that in WikiLeaks, by the way?
No, sir. I saw this when I woke up after I heard the WikiLeaks. I began to research, and I saw that online, and I started research. There's hardly anything. There's so much more available now. Even though they censor so much, you can find truth if you're looking. You can find it. Back in the day, it was like hardly anything out there. But anyway, so now we've had this terrible tribulation. We know what they've been doing to us on a massive scale, right? And then we have this great awakening, where the Lord says that this great and mighty army would appear, and we would awaken. This amazing passage it talks about in Ezekiel 37. It says, kind of like that song, the foot bone connected to the ankle bone, right? That's from Ezekiel 37, where we would all start joining back together, and all of a sudden we rise up a mighty army. We've been slain, and it's like, we're slain, how are you going to rise up? Well, like 11:11 from Revelation, God breathed life into us somehow. I don't know how. I don't know. I didn't feel it. I just know it happened. You did too, right? Okay, so then, and we are now the knights riding along to save the day, right? All right, so then we've started now with we're awake. We're this mighty army. Now we're fighting Armageddon, and then we're going to cast them out, and that has to be soon. I feel like we're close, kind of like Andromeda in the movie The Clash of the Titans. We're getting down to the last second, where the monster's coming in to devour. So we're going to have to be winning soon. And then after that, we're going to have 1,000 years of peace on earth. I've got to tell you some of the verses it says that I'd never even noticed before. It says that we will start to live as long as trees. Yeah, Isaiah 65. He says, then we'll have time to enjoy our hard-won gains. He says, when you see someone who's only lived to be 100, you'll be like, well, what happened? I'm kind of paraphrasing.
They got
clearly
the vaccination, maybe.
No. Well, just in the millennial kingdom, in this 1,000 years of peace that I talk about in the book, End Times and 1,000 Years of Peace, we're going to have long, healthy lives. We're going to have the wealth that the wicked is stored up for the righteous. We're going to have this wealth returned to us. This is the promise all throughout the Bible. They didn't talk about it, but it's there. It's in the Bible. Okay, I'm shaking that book, but it's really what I'm talking about in the Bible. All right, so these beautiful verses. It says, "Nation will not rise against nation. Neither will they train for war anymore." It says you won't have to say know the Lord, because everybody's going to know Him. Everybody's going to know God. It's not about religion. I hate religion. Religion is a control mechanism.
You don't like religion.
I hate religion. There you go. How you like that? I hate religion because it's just a control construct. I love people. I love, things to be done right. For there to be freedom. For there to be love, right? And just.
You're not
justice.
A churchgoer?
Actually, we've started doing an ecclesia, and which is really more biblical. Church is not really in the Bible. How about that, red pill? How about that one? Because the church is, again, a control construct. In the Bible, they went from house to house. They did not meet in these big, giant places where they could control people. They would meet in house to house, because then, hey, I'm short on money this month.
Are those like businesses?
No, not at all. Not at all. Where we help each other, where we're there for each other. Hey, my car broke down. Can you come? My donkey broke a leg. Can you come get me? That kind of stuff. It's where we do life in relationship and not control, because they're not going to. It's too hard for them to infiltrate a group of 12 people. That's the true word in the Bible, ecclesia. They changed it, but that's the true word. But yeah, religion is how they've used it. There's a story about the Tower of Babel. They were building this whole thing, and they were all going to have this one giant place where everybody was around the Tower of Babel. And the Lord said He confused their language, as in Babel. That made them Babel. And then that forced them to spread out. Because why? Why would He do that? Because He knew that if they were all joined together, they would be just too easy for them to control. They had to get away so that they wouldn't be all controlled by one person who would end up making them take a jab and kill them. Really, right? All right, so, but yeah, the millennial kingdom, I'm going to tell you more about that. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? It says that we'll have time to enjoy our hard-won gains. And actually, Hugh talks about this, that the days are coming. There's a beautiful movie video, and it's actually was taken off of YouTube. It's on Rumble now. It's called The Plan to Save the World. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh my gosh, you've got to see it. It's the best. I've shared it so many times and watched it many times. So it's telling all the bad news, but it's talking about, at the end, it talks about this good news, this wonderful days that we're going to enter into, and that is very biblical. A millennial kingdom, and think of that as it's the beautiful days of health and wealth and peace. No more wars. Because it's everything in the past has been a proxy war, right? To have them make money and to kill off our people. But now this is the true war to end all wars. Remember how President Trump talked about that? He went to, I think, Normandy or whatever, and he talked about this is the war to end all wars. He's talking about Armageddon. This is the war we're fighting now because we're going to kick out the beast. In Revelation 19, it says that they'll be gone forever. They'll never come out again.
So is Donald Trump returning to the presidency position in the United States?
You know what I believe on that.
I don't.
You know. Yes, you do.
No, I hadn't asked you that question.
We've known each other an hour, and you know where I believe. So I got to tell you one more. I'll answer that real quick. Okay, but let me tell you this. Finish the story. Okay, so after 1,000 years of peace, there's actually another battle. It's called Gog and Magog, and that's when Satan is finally conquered. Okay, kind of like a fifth dimension type of thing. And then after that, there's no more death. This is what the Bible teaches. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And actually, I know of some really great cures already, like sodium chloride, neural therapy. Check Prescribing Life. I'm seeing prescribinglife.com. I'm seeing people who nerves. You say, oh, that can never be cured. You can't repair nerves. Lie. It's a lie. You can. My mother was on 3 opioids a day. She's now on. She'd lost like so much weight. They were going to kill her. They were trying to kill my mother. We found this in answer to prayer.
The hospital.
No, it's not a hospital. Hospital? I wouldn't take my mother to the hospital for nothing, for anything. No way. I found this girl. There's only 2 neural therapists in the country. And she gave my mother treatments, and my mother's not even taking aspirin. No. She's fit as a fiddle. And I'm seeing people who were Guillain-Barre getting their nerves restored. Getting Lyme disease, where their myelin sheath is gone, it's being restored. It's the most amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. All right, so then after that is heaven and earth merge, and we get new bodies where there's no more death. This is what the Bible teaches. There'll be a day when there's no more death. Back to kind of like paradise restored, back from Adam and Eve. There was not supposed to be all this, and now we're going to get back to that, but that's for later.
That's after 1,000 years or during the 1,000 years?
After the 1,000 years, then there's this battle called Gog and Magog, and then there's no more death. It's a heaven and earth merge. That's wild, imagine. But right now, what we're going to enter into is this beautiful reprieve called 1,000 Years of Peace, where we can have health and wealth and peace on earth and unity. It's going to be beautiful. And that's what Q talks about, too. All right, so what was your other thing you wanted to ask me?
Well,
you asked me something, and I don't know.
I'd asked you if Donald Trump was returning to
that one.
White House.
Okay, so that's where I go into. It says on the board, that we would never hand over our country to the POS again.
POS?
Yes, which I'm thinking I'm decoding it. Can I say piece of shit?
Ah.
Oh, now we have
family
to
program. I mean, you are a grandmother. Melissa, 2 strikes here.
Now you see why I was deleted off of YouTube, right? Okay, but yeah, they would never allow them to take over, ever, ever, ever again. Why are you laughing at the grandmother? I'm the one who's allowed to say it because I'm the grandmother. Anyway, but they would never allow them to take over. Never give the keys to them again. And you know about devolution?
No.
Oh my gosh, you've got to watch Devolution. It's on not Kash Patel, but this other Patel person, and he's not even a Q follower, but he's taking open source documentation and being able to put it together to say this is where we're devolving. Let me back up. We know that the election was stolen.
We don't know that. We're trying to prove that, or some folks are trying to prove that.
Right. So the theory is
there's a strong feeling that it was.
That Deanna Ratcliffe came and gave President Trump, the facts that our election, there was foreign interference in this.
Vote Scam is a great book written in the 80s by 2 brothers that goes back to the manipulation of the voting system in the United States, starting with LBJ.
Yeah. Vote early, vote
scam.
often. Or is that, maybe that was Louisiana, but same kind of thing. Yeah. bad deal. And we've just been so trusting. We've been such.
We've been
sheep.
so trusting. We've been
just
very
little
comfortable, Melissa.
Sheep. Right? Just I'm over it. I'm over it, and I know you are too. Yeah. So in the premise of this research, and it's very compelling research. You'll really, really like it. Devolution, DEVOLUTION. Yeah. And it's not Kash Patel. It's another guy named Patel, and he's just taking open source documentation to show that there's evidence of this, and that December 15th that this devolution was set in motion. And that we have commanders all over the world from our government that will, if our country is under attack, and this election fraud the election fraud wasn't attacked. It actually was changed in our legal code somehow. He's much better at it than I am explaining this, but anyway, that would arise to the level of war. Okay, and then we would be able to institute devolution. And so my contention is that President Trump is still in control. I know you're like, this lady, she's nuts. Now, that's because nothing else makes sense to me. Nothing else makes sense. The Biden, And the reality is, if they had the power to do some of these things, they would have already done it. They would have done even more than they've already done. So, I believe that, one of the things they've talked about on the board is the military is in control. And the Patriots are in control.
What's this board you speak of?
This board of QAG.news, QAnon.pub. It's almost 5,000 posts, and I've just, you just don't know what you don't know. And he started just giving us all this little, go research the Titanic. I'm like, what do you mean go research the Titanic? I know about the Titanic. I watched the movie, right? And then you start to realize, oh, no. Q talks about that all the currency in the world will be backed by gold. Had you heard about that post?
No.
Yeah. I did a whole video on, remember the lady with the shoes in the Philippines? Anyway, that's a whole nother story, but yeah, the gold, I believe, has been put in trust because they have to prove that.
Whose trust?
For humanity. This was done by
who?
Jose Rizal. Have you ever heard of that? He was the twin brother of Queen Victoria, and he was the one who was supposed to manage the gold for this mafia. And after he saw what happened in World War II, he's like, I'm not going to be part of this. He had a just come to Jesus moment, and he says, I'm not going to be part of this. And he took the gold, and he took it down to Marcos. Remember Ferdinand Marcos? And Ferdinand Marcos wrote up the documentation in the World Bank and says, this gold is hidden away, and you can have it if you can prove that it's yours. There's a statute of limitation of like 50 years. You can have it if you prove that it's yours. And they couldn't prove it. So that's really when that 50 years expired was when 9/11 happened. And like, well, we're not going to give this. We're not going to back every currency by gold because that's our money. We cheated you out at fair and square, right? and we'll burn the whole world to the ground. And that's why this is taking so long, because these people have infiltrated everywhere and they're so dangerous. And it's taking, we have to remove, it's like a game of pixie sticks, just remove one, then another, and then another very slowly. Yeah. But yeah, I truly believe that the Patriots are in control. And so I'm in complete peace. Plus how it fits in with God's word, that this is the day we're going to win. I can't tell you the exact moment, but we're moving toward that. And we just saw Durham, he's done his third indictment. And then DNI Ratcliffe just said last week that there's going to be more indictments, right? So this is happening. This is happening. Very exciting. That's the story.
Melissa, if the Patriots, so-called, are not in control, does that conflict with the information in
the
book?
Somehow this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. Armageddon has started.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. There's something's
big, happening.
Something's big.
Yeah.
Big.
And this movement's growing, whatever this movement is right
and
here.
Not stopping.
San Antonio.
In the past, we were always, maybe start to wake up, and then go, like after 9/11, wake up, and then go right back to sleep.
Yeah.
This is different. This is totally different. Yeah. And we're going to win. You're reading Revelation 19. Abyss. Not a good place to be cast into. They're going to be gone. And so this is I couldn't have put this sign in the heavens.
Yeah, right. It's not yours.
I couldn't wake up these people.
Yeah.
the honest truth, I can't wake up my dog. I mean, I can't wake up anybody. It's just got to be something that happens to them, right? I can talk. We're trying our hardest to talk, but it's got to be mixed with a touch from God, really.
So what's the sequel look like? Do you write a follow-up?
You know
Do you
what?
write a sequel?
I've never even thought about writing this one. I just asked my people on my Telegram, I'm like, should I kind of compile this in one? And they're like, yes, because there's too many videos. So I'm just hope to see, like, I'm already seeing, like, the healing. I can't wait to, I'm already starting to do videos about people being healed, and to see all these cures being released. And, I can't wait to see all the currency backed, worldwide currencies backed by gold. And these people gone, and everybody's going to be healthy and wealthy and wise. It's going to be awesome. So, stay tuned. But just right now, I'm just going to keep fighting, putting out this information as fast as I can. Whatever's going on, the current events in the light of God's word, that's what I do. And say, get it out there.
And you remain uninoculated with the COVID-19.
Oh, they'd have to.
What would they have to do,
Kill.
Melissa? Let me bribe you. Let me bribe you with a
$100, right?
Shake Shack. Yeah, $100. Chocolate shake and a
wasn't
hamburger.
a condom?
Oh, Melissa.
There we go again.
You are a grandmother.
So didn't they?
My dear.
Didn't they say that at one of the schools?
I've not heard this.
I think so. I think I
I've
heard
not
that.
heard
Maybe
this,
it was
Miss
just
Red Pill.
I told you my name. Now you know why. Like, she's a church lady.
No, you said you're non-religious.
Right.
You don't
exactly.
go to church. You said that.
Yeah.
You said
If
that.
you ever hear some of the stuff that Jesus really said, you're like, Jesus is. He's not religious at all. I'm serious. He tore into the. Yeah. They've made the church people wusses.
Sheep?
Wusses.
Wusses.
Worse than sheep. Wusses is below sheep.
Wusses is below sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Wusses don't have a tail.
Wusses, right? They're just useless, and so they just and to be honest, the music. I'm probably going to get in big trouble for saying this, but some of this music, it just makes you. I can't even listen to it. It makes me feel like a sissy. I'm like, I've got to get in here and fight. This music is making me feel like going to take a nap. Or
what kind of music are you talking about?
Well, a lot of. I shouldn't say this, but
why?
A lot of Christian music is too. It's like, I feel bad about myself, and Jesus is making me feel better about. I'm like, I don't feel bad about myself. Why are you saying that? Why are you seeding my thoughts with that? Oh, God will help you through. And I'm not saying God doesn't help us through. Don't get me wrong. But when you hear that over and over and over and over, it doesn't make you a warrior. That is why I believe that the Lord made it, called in warriors who are not in the church. He called in people to be the army, and I'm telling you, it's going to put to shame a lot of these Bible thumpers. They're going to be like, we missed Armageddon entirely. We didn't even realize that was what was going on. Yeah, because you were a sheep. And the people who are not even in the church had to take up the slack because you did nothing. It ticks me off. I better not get started. You might hear some other words coming out of my mouth.
In Melissa, in religion or in the church?
Uh-oh. Hang on super quick. Who's calling me? This is probably my meeting that I've probably missed again. The whole reason I stayed here. No, it's okay. All right.
You stayed here to miss a meeting?
We're
flattered. We're flattered.
Right. No, I didn't miss. No, I haven't gotten the call yet. Anyway, so I probably need to turn my thing on so if they do, I can hear it. In religion, people who love God, who are really seeking God, that's cool. If they're like, God, how can I help protect children? Isn't that a great prayer? How about that for a prayer? How can I help protect children? How can I be a part of what you're doing to take down this criminal mafia? How about that for a prayer?
You use that word again, mafia.
A mafia is just a criminal organization, right? Right. It's this. They're hidden.
Is that an English word?
I guess it is. You never heard it before. You're so silly. But yeah, so that's what I believe is happening in the church. They made them just so willy-nilly, and they can't get up and fight for their lives. for themselves. And that's what so many people are. That's why you have people here who like all kinds of different backgrounds. And they're just, the one thing in common is we're going to fight until these people are cast into hell. Grandma said that. That's what we're doing.
What, you being grandma?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah. Melissa Red Pill the World from the Freedom Force Battalion, freedomforce.live. We're going to do that. Yeah, I look like a nice lady, don't I? No.
You do.
The deep state hates me.
You're non-threatening physically. You're non-threatening.
But that's why they kicked me off of YouTube.
You don't look like a grandmother, but you're none. Yeah.
Yeah, but the YouTube and the Twitter and the Facebook, there's a reason they kicked me off, because I'm getting people. We're going to kick these people into hell. Doesn't sound like it. That's what Jesus talked about. People don't even realize they've made Jesus into a wuss. Yeah, and that's not who he is. Not at all. Remember I told you in Revelation 19, you read it yourself. It says that he has, he says, who is this who's come from Basra? This is actually in Isaiah, whose garments are stained with blood. It's the blood of his enemies. Does that sound like the Jesus they talk about in the church? No. They make him into a wuss. No. He is a killer. He's going to destroy them because what have they been doing? Yep. If somebody doesn't like that, that's just too bad, because I'm just telling you what the Bible says. Don't be mad at me.
So what do you as we wind down here?
Yes, we got to
Melissa,
rock and roll. I know you got other people who want to talk to you.
No. As we wind down, what words do you leave with listeners? What do you want? What are some call to action type phrases or words? What do you want listeners to do listening to this? What do you want them to do, apart from getting your book?
Right.
Okay, and it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
And
right. Or you know what? I've got 600 videos. You can go watch the videos for free. I don't care. I'm not trying to huck a book. That's not my deal.
No. Yeah.
I'm just, if you want to get the book, that's one. Or you could go watch, like I said, 600 videos on myself. I've got like a Revelation playlist. I've got a biblical astronomy playlist or whatever. The biggest thing is, I was thinking about this. Is to be honest with God. Say, direct my thoughts, direct my clicks. To lead me to, because there's a lot of stuff out there that will get us in a rabbit hole and just waste our time. The enemy is out there in force trying to get us off on some kind of crazy tangent and wasting our time when we need to be focused on what's the most important thing, right? So,
and what is that?
Well, I would say number one, this Durham investigation. How many people you think are researching Durham investigation, right? Because that's what's happening. We've been waiting on. Everybody's like screaming for arrest. Well, that's what's happening with the Durham investigation. The indictment's coming down. And understand that and share that information so people understand this is happening. Okay. Clearly the election fraud, right?
Exposing
that.
Continue to push.
Right.
That exposure.
The COVID, which is basically what we've been hearing here at the
it's
conference.
Deception, like everywhere, right?
Right. All of their dirty tricks, and get it and expose it. Take a screenshot of it maybe to share it on social media, because if you share Freedom Force Battalion on there, it'll get banned or shadow banned. They won't see it.
Hashtag Freedom Force Battalion taken down.
No. You can take a screenshot, a picture of it. That's the only way, and they probably will still even find it. I'm telling you, would you have thought they would hate me like this? Okay, just share this information, share it, text it, email it, tweet it, telegram it. Something, get it out there, and that's what the army does. And there's a beautiful passage in Joel. It says that this army goes over the walls and through the windows. I'm like, how would you do that? Through a tweet, through a telegram, through a Snapchat. This girl showed me what's going on in Snapchat. Have you seen? It is vile. It is bad news, and our children are just getting sucked into it, and we need to get patriots. Somebody on there, whoever's listening, get onto Snapchat and start making videos and put out truth on Snapchat. I haven't even been doing that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, when she showed me, I was freaking out. So yeah, just share truth as fast as you can, and just listen to God, and just like say, God, I don't care what the truth is. I want you to tell me. That's the way I did when I was asking for decoded Revelation. I think that's why he was, had me teaching kids for 40 years, because I know the word really well. And I was like, okay, take all this knowledge that's up in here and help me to piece this puzzle pieces together. And so whether you know the word of God or not, just whatever your life experience has been, take that and say, God, show me what I can do to be part of this. Reveal this, whatever I need to do. And so give me the strength to do it. And the strength, as you know, comes in the doing. You start to get in there kicking some doors down, you know, symbolically speaking, right? Then you get pumped up and you keep going, and we got them. Let's go. Let's do another.
Kick down
one.
more doors.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I'm glad to know you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
Melissa Red Pill,
Yeah, the world.
Red Pill World. And the
Not
book-
just Red Pill. We're doing the whole world.
And the book is End Times
And a
1,000 Years of Peace.
1,000 years of peace. And the website is freedomforce.live. Everything on there's free.